All right, folks, we got a game 3 coming up in just a moment.
Sideline of goal! Late winner's doing it! They're gonna take! He's gonna bring down Burning! Alone with a double kill! Dropping fast! Monopoint's there! He's still alive! Wait, Oshek is late! He's got one sub! He's got a second! He's taking it! Oh my god! On 3! They're all dead!
Dire team bad.
Welcome back, everybody, to what will be our final game of today. It is the first Dota 2 tournament to reign in the new year. Welcome to 2015. Welcome, if you haven't been watching Dota recently, to 6.83. It's a relatively new patch. We've only seen a few weeks of it, and haven't seen too much of it in Chinese Dota until the past week and a half or so with ECL and now with iLeague. But we get underway. This, of course, for those who have not been following the tournament, is a double elimination 8-team LAN finals. Those few teams were replaced due to some visa issues / just dropping out of the event for whatever reason. But this is the list of teams we currently have. LGD versus Lions will be played tomorrow, as well as Vici Gaming versus HGT. The winner of this best of 3 moves on to play either Vici or HGT. The loser drops down to your lower bracket. All matches best of 3. And with that said, of course, I'm LDV on the summit. I am joined here today by the one and only GoDz, David GoDz Parker. How you doing?
Hello, hello. Good. We had a bit of a break, so I got to make some EBT and feeling good. One more game to go, and then we got 4 BO3s tomorrow. That's the big day coming up. So
Oh my goodness.
I'm looking forward to seeing the new Ninjas in Pajamas in action.
Oh yeah, they're Lions on the bracket image, but they just announced they got sponsored. So this will be their first big LAN debut. They've been making waves. They qualified for the Starladder LAN finals as well. Europe, well, the Western scene in general has kind of been in a state of flux, and Lions is in prime position to capitalize on that.
I feel like that's the kind of the big thing though to highlight though is that they're doing well while the scene as a whole is kind of in this transitional phase where teams are still changing their rosters and also just not in that serious TI training mode, whereas Lions / NIP now they're training hard. They're looking to be that next big upcoming team, which is good for them, but when these other kind of more established teams come back with their new rosters and are in their serious mode as well, I feel like that's when we could see the fall of the Ninjas in Pajamas, but
we'll find out.
I hope it's not the case, but I feel like it's happened before. It's happened with like past, like there was a while when NextKZ were like considered a tier 1 team for some of the past Empire teams, even Power Rangers for a while. It's hard to stay up there once the teams like those top EG secrets and all that, and Na'Vi of the past, but no longer Na'Vi, I guess. But when they come back strong, it's hard.
Yeah, completely agree with that. And well, if they come back strong, I guess at this point.
Yes.
But if they do, it'll be tough for Lions. But for now, they're cruising, they're enjoying, and I'm looking forward to seeing what the lone Western representative can do on Chinese soil. But with that said, draft's nearly complete. So, actually, it is complete. Let's run through the picks real fast. We've got a Scarith Omni Night opener from Speed Gaming. We saw the Omni ban first phase in one of the games earlier, I believe, which seemed a little curious to me.
Both of the first 2 games, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I guess it's something Speed Gaming have run quite a bit of. And you've got an Omni Terrorblade, and there's no real natural diffusal blade carrier. I guess Juggernaut could build one. Xiaowei is playing it, so it is going to be a core. Okay, so maybe he goes for the early diffusal.
Yeah. It's a pretty nice item.
But they do not have the best wave clear to deal with these Terrorblade illusions later on. Plasma Field and Jakiro. That's it.
So an interesting draft from both sides. For Speed Gaming, it's trying to put the Terrorblade and Slark on the same team as far as laning that goes.
10 seconds
One of them kind of needs to go mid, and I'm wondering who that's going to be. It may be just some kind of dual lane, like a Terrorblade plus Skywrath mid, or the Skywrath plus Slark mid, and then the Terrorblade goes safe lane. And that's something where I feel like Speed Gaming have a very weak laning stage. A lot of teams, when they go up against Omni Knight, will do an offensive tri lane, or at least dual lane against it, because he's so weak in the lane and doesn't do that much. Like, if you have initiation, can get the heal bomb on someone, it's maybe you get a kill or whatever, but it's kind of easy to play around that. So we may see, I feel Big God should be looking to do some kind of either dual lanes or even an offensive tri lane to try punish the weak Speed Gaming lineup.
And we get underway with game number 3 of this best of 3. Again, a winner bracket match, so nobody eliminated off of it, but you move quite far along in the bracket. Should you take this, you're guaranteed top 6, and you're 1 win away from a really nice finish in this iLeague LAN finals. With that said, introducing the teams, we've got Team Big God, Ice playing the Rubik, Lanham on your Jakiro. Xiaowei will be handling the Juggernaut. RTK looking for redemption here on his Doom. And they will find a Slark as Mikasa is playing the Razor. They catch out Piao. He is pretty well surrounded here. He has already used the leap, didn't manage to pounce his way out of anything, and will end up going down. Nice job blocking that one. And with that said, we can run through speed gaming. You've got Chow Yui playing the Terrorblade. Looks like he'll be going mid. Iwi on the Tidehunter. That's Melody Lovers playing your Skywrath Mage. YFTX on the Omni, and it puts Piao, the sad and lonely Slark, back towards the top lane.
Speed Gaming's like, we lost the top rune, let's go for the bottom one. Let's hope they stay up near the top bounty room. We're going to try to get this bottom one. Blade Fury back up, and unfortunately Zhao Wei only rotated himself. Jakiro will show up now, but it's...
Man, this top area of the map has just been painful for Speed Gaming. Now YFTX wants to get pounded here.
You got bounty rune at least. That's worth it.
That's definitely worth this level for us.
Like 2 tangos for a bounty rune, you can take that.
That's 2 creeps. That's basically another set of wards. They're halfway to your boots as well.
Yeah.
Since he already had a little gold in the stash, so nice pickup for
He
him.
also scouted out exactly where this observer would plant it. That was a bit kind of sloppy from RTK. I mean, I feel like sloppy just sums up this big god team. They're just doing kind of... They're just not looking polished. They haven't been practicing. They just... I mean,
They just rocked up. They just rocked up to play some games.
Considering this is like Zhao Wei, your TI4 champion, ROTK, your TI4 runner-up, like these guys knew every little trick, and here ROTK is just walking into plain sight, planning an observer ward as Omni Knight watches him. Like, that's just not something ROTK would ever do in the off lane.
Early point of reflection taken. You don't see this too often, but he won't end up getting a kill. And this ultimate will wear off fairly soon for the Terrorblade. Ultimate. Might as well be. The Metamorphosis, I should say.
I think in general, like, especially against a Razor, he'll be looking to just kind of spam it anyway, so... Even though you don't get... If you do as much damage as you can, help your last hit a little bit. And
you just get your last hits whenever it's up, so the sooner you use it, the sooner it cools down, so you can use it again.
So Skywrath actually going to leave Terrorblade kind of solo, especially without the ultimate. That's really screwing him over a bit, but we'll see. Actually, no, Skywrath quickly heads back.
He's like, oh wait,
I think he got the call from Chow Yu.
That's
like,
a Razor +1.
Yeah.
We're gonna need some help. Lob in a nuke there.
Kasab's still like going for this Ring of Aquila first means it's not gonna be like he's gonna have that much regen, but luckily Ice pulls him out.
Meanwhile, bottom lane, Lana moving in for some harassment here. He's got the Liquid Fire. And he will force him back a bit. Looks like our 2-minute rune's gonna spawn, and we may have a skirmish here towards the top side of the map. The northern rune about to be contested. Radiant team snags it, bounty rune there, and they grab the illusion bottom. A 2-0 victory in the Rune Wars. Yep. Making it 3-1 in total for the win so far.
Okay. And all in all, I think very much more kind of standard Zhao Wei-esque draft this game around, as far as having like the... I mean, you see the Doom and I just think, okay, Zhao Wei's serious now. But they're gonna do a lot of pressure here at this bottom lane. Like, try and get this fast T1 tower. We saw that work really well in game 1 earlier today. Oh, actually, well, that was the IG game where they could get the fast T1 tower for Lua on the Viper. And if you get that fast early boost in your gold and get someone like Zhao Wei, like a really fast phase drums or just phase magic wand, he can really control the tempo of this game. Because he doesn't need to just sit bottom and free farm. He's not really a true carrier as a Juggernaut.
Rubik finagling his way through here. There's no observer ward. The one that they have is planted in the lane, so this rotation not yet spotted, but here we just playing defensive heads-up Dota. Doesn't look like he'll get caught out. Ice still biding his time. Actually, I believe has been spotted here. Yeah, he's visible. So in the end, I'll just start critting creeps.
Yeah. Easy.
Tower secured though.
Yeah.
Doesn't really matter if they get the kill. That's a nice bonus, of course, but it is the fast tier 1 that you were looking for, and they can potentially back off, go for a tier 2 in a little bit.
Maybe the plan here.
Do they just keep on going? Getting wards down. I feel like you need to back off and get a few more levels before you go
Siege
for that.
creep is going to arrive, but yeah.
There's like not much of a buffer for it though.
I feel like you need to go for like that single pull to get like the double creep wave or something, but
They bought a smoke.
yeah,
So.
that's the better, safer move. Getting someone like the Terrorblade at mid. But
Speaking of that Terrorblade, holding his own. 15-4 against the Razor with the early support that came through from the Rubik. That's a really nice job by Chow Yui.
so looks like Jakira's actually just going to go for like some pulls here to deny Tide some XP, get the lane back, and at least farm for like their level 6s. You want your Omni Slash, Rubik and Jakira, because you go for that fast tier 1 tower with the supports. Like when Viper did earlier today, it was like he basically did it solo. This time around though, it was like a 3-hero push. It means both Rubik and Jakira are kind of underleveled. So going for some pulls and stacks is going to be a nice kind of recovery mechanic for them.
Well, as for speed gaming, Smoke is up on the Skywrath Mage. Still has not really made any rotation. Slark gonna hit level 6 soon. And the top lane abandoned by the Doom. He's off in the jungle now. RTK has his early Orb of Venom. Tranquil Boots complete. He will devour a wolf here. But there's really not much else going on for him. They may find an opening, but it's a level 5 Tidehunter with a Rubik Doom. Can they really get this kill? Not even a nuke on RTK to speak of.
They got the slow.
They gotta try for it, but trying for the lift back. The auto techs are coming in. I'm not sure what the plan is here, to be honest. Ice just gets destroyed. Now ROTK first to run away, and he may end up going down too. In comes your concussive shot. If they get the reflection off, he's in a lot of trouble. Can they get in range for it? There's no points of Gush just yet. Anchor Smash coming through. RTK still surviving. They get a good damage stolen. Those Mikasa chases onwards. He's going to zone out 3, and probably NT goes down. There is a repel. Level 3 plasma field. Could be easily dodged. No, not going to get it off in time. Will end up falling either to dice to the auto text there or the plasma field, but either way, he dies. And then the Juggernaut will clean up the Tidehunter. So what looks like a very awkward dive ends up turning out okay for them. 2 for 1 in the end.
Razor coming in kind of fixed things a bit there. But I think the initial idea was not a very sound one.
Rubik plus Doom trying to gank a level 5 Tide with level 3 Anchor Smash and 2 in Kraken Shell. That was not going to happen, but they kind of get bailed out by Speed Gaming overcommitting.
Yes. So Jug now level 6, so definitely a cause for concern for anyone around him. And probably will be looking to use that Omni Slash just to get a kill, get it back on cooldown, and kind of use it like a Finger of Death just whenever kind of available.
Yeah, that was not a kill opportunity though. Wisely will hold it. Backs up. Siege comes through mid. They get off an Ice Path on Chow Yui. Apparently followed up though. Slanum continues to slowly chip away at this tower. Still only a level 3 Rubik though. All the supports spending a lot of time with these early rotations. Not really too much in terms of jungle stack here farming. Just Lanham pushing towers, Ice trying to rune control and gank, and the Omni and Skywrath also kind of reacting to this and moving around accordingly.
Playing very kind of like TI4S style here, where it's just like 5-manning a lot, or at least 4-manning, and well, here comes the turnaround.
On to 2 it goes. And he gets the first. They go for the lift, try to retreat out. Plasma field doing insane amounts of damage. That must have been like 1,000 plus total. Not enough to get a kill. Then the Omni Slash comes through. A casual drive by Omni, and then Shite's like, whoops, I don't have the damage. Mikasa's probably going to go down here. The nuke from the sky, that's enough. They get the kill. And now they turn. They're going to dual breath. Blade Fury as well, but can't do any more damage to the repelled Omni Knight, who will trot away to freedom.
That was a sad Omni
was so
Let's
sad.
Omni into 5 heroes and hope for the best, when not a single one of them was like low enough to even die to it, unless you got like all 3 slashes on them. But I don't know.
It's really awkward. He just like quickly and cleanly gets off the Omni Slash and then just like kept on running.
No. I think he's probably like, wait, I probably meant to Blade Fury, because I could actually AoE damage like 3 to 4 heroes with Blade Fury, but no, bizarre. But yeah, Speed Gaming hold on to their tier 1s, and at this point, I mean, the tier 1s, I mean, there's so much investment coming from Big God to get these towers, and they don't quite give as much as they once used to, as far as money goes, and there's pretty under-leveled. Rubik, not even level 4 just yet. Well, hits it now, and for the die side, I feel like they're just being a bit more overall efficient.
Well, they will force this tower mid, and they will claim it as well. RTK not getting the last hit, though. Goes to the Radiant Creeps. Not ideal. He will build towards the Midas. Meanwhile, Shao building towards his Drums of Endurance. So, going for a pretty standard Jug build, just a lot of mid-game aggression. Razor, the real suffering hero, though, is the solo mid, sitting at, well, mostly solo mid. He had a dual lane for a little bit, sitting at level 6, only 31 CS. Slightly ahead of the Terrorblade, but considering how much pressure the Terrorblade was under relatively, it's not really a dominant showing.
Yeah. So, I'm curious to see if, I think Big God kind of shown they just want to keep going for tower after tower, and probably see the next swing towards the top lane. Jiawei definitely should be coming to any fights like this, because he's got the drums, so he just needs to bring it out, and like a drums Juggernaut at this stage, when he has Omni Slash, you want him in any and all fights.
By the way, I want to point out, Shide's going for like the much more traditional build with the Max Blade Fury. We saw the crit max sometimes goes with stats leveled up as well. That last game it didn't. But this is the old school way to play Jug, I guess you could say.
I think you should even be leveling up the healing ward. If you want to kind of 5-man take towers, like he's not actually getting that many right clicks off. I mean, he just dies if he tries to go into like the Tide Slack and all that without Blade Fury or Omni Slash. But I think he may go back for the healing ward now with just the 2 late dance.
Well, Speed Gaming again. Gonna look for a push here. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Omni Slash comes through. See ya, Omni Knight.
That was
Who's the real Omni?
questionable from Omni Knight.
Maybe he was hoping.
He like walked
like,
at Juggernaut and repelled himself, and he's like, wait, I don't have Guardian Angel.
if only I were level 6.
Yeah.
Wah, wah. Well, this might cost them heavily. Bottom tower under siege. There's no Omni Slash to punish this TP. Ice Path was used, but it's YFTX.
This time he's okay. There's no
There's
Omni.
no Omni. There's no easy kill, but it also means he can't really stop the siege fully. We get off at least 1-2 more liquid fires. And they buy time for RTK to farm up his Midas here. We'll have it around that 11-12 minute mark.
Yeah, I think having ROTK kind of farm while the other 4 heroes group up, fight together is...
He really is their
plan.
late game. Razor's not snowballing that hard. They haven't been stacking the jungle at all. And Jug obviously goes for utility items here, so...
Yep. I think Doom's one of the things, as far as their core heroes goes, probably one of the ones that benefits the most from items. Him and Razor.
He's so good against the Speed Gaming lineup. Like, you've got Doom versus Omni, fantastic. Good versus Tide. Only issues maybe of too many targets, but if you get a refresher, I feel you doom those two, and it's going to be tough for Speed to win a fight later on.
And Zhao has picked up a Blade of Alakria. Be curious to see if this is going to be a defusal or just a casual Yasha. I mean, you're doing so well early enough, and Omni's behind that I don't think you desperately need the defusal right now. I think you can do just fine with a casual like Yasha Manta or Sanjin Yasha build. Either or. I think either's a good item. Just probably some personal preference.
It is coming out in the Blade of Alacrity, just a good value item pickup in general for the cost-effective damage and attack speed. Synergizes well with the crit. Not level 2, as you pointed out. He did not choose the level 2 healing ward, at least not yet. Xiaowei continuing to slowly pressure this bottom lane with Lanham at his side. Level 3 liquid fire.
Speed Gaming towards mid. They want to try and catch up.
Positioning is nice here by Mikasa. Well, maybe I jinxed him. Now he just TP's out. Mystic Flare not available yet, and he will end up barely surviving. Good reactions there. Not cracking under pressure.
Yep.
Makes it out to safety. And is a Yasha.
Okay. I think that's the better way to go. Slightly. I don't know.
Lanham sped up. He wants to get off another liquid fire on this tower. Throws out the 1 minute cooldown macro pyre. Yeah. Nice play.
He's not fighting right now too much anyway, so... 12-minute runes, nothing too crazy going on there, and Mikasa comes back mid. We'll be rushing a BKB on the Razor, which is just all about the 5-man, so... Makes sense.
Speaking of the Razor, BKB in the works, as mentioned, and Melody Lover's going to take that Invis rune top. They are making their move. They drew this line earlier. I thought they were maybe saying they might gank us from here, but they were saying let's gank this way. Yeah. And they will make their move towards Speed Gaming.
Push out the lane, try to secure the
But they're going to walk right into Tide. Oh, maybe
they didn't
not.
see each
Oh,
other.
no. He keeps on walking to the left. He's hiding at the secret shop. In the meantime, your Omni Knight ends up going down. Oh, he does get off the repel. Another auto attack. Another auto attack. It's not enough just yet. He might have to commit the Omni to get this kill. No, one more slash. Gets it. Now pops the stick charges, hides the healing ward. There's not a ton of places for this to go, though. Just runs it right by the Tide Hunter. You lumbering slow fish.
Healing ward just too OP.
Too fast. Speed on this thing. Too good. They get the tower. They all get out safely. Xiaowei having his cake, eating it too, and robbing the cradle while he's at it.
The 450 movement speed, like the buff, like a few patches ago in the movement speed in the healing ward was made Juggernaut.
It used
really
to be so slow. I think it was like as slow as the walking courier at one point.
It just basically didn't move. It's kind of how it was. But now you can actually outrun most heroes with just boots. So.
Got to pick Lycan, man. He's the healing ward counter. No running away from that guy. They're going to pressure top.
Yeah, they got both bottoms. And there's no real way Speed Gaming can easily fight into their 5-man. Or I mean, it's a 3-man, really. Yeah, well, they're leaving Razor mid. He hasn't really left mid. Just going to keep on farming. And
tower is under attack.
even so, and Speed Gaming, Terrorblade and Slack was just such a greedy draft. And this is, I think they're kind of getting punished for it. They have two heroes who just want to farm and not really fight. Like, Slack can kind of fight, but he doesn't even have that mobility item yet. He's got the blink now, only just now coming out in the courier, so... Potential's there to fight, but again, it's like Tide is going for the mech, so he doesn't have his blink, and they're just not really finding any good timing to fight Big God with.
RTK, what are you doing? He shows himself bottom, maybe expecting a TP. He turns with the Doom. manages to get the Slark. There is a heal in
Use
2
your
seconds.
Midas. Use your
He jukes through the
Midas.
trees. Maybe it's a brilliant play in the end. Piao trapped out. He will be... Oh, is it enough Ravage coming through? He's going to retreat, but he can't escape from the wrathful blade of Xiao 8. A 2 for 2 thus far. Then they Omni Slash looking for that third kill. Xiao 8, he gets cracked, or rather gets Anchor Smash. He still gets the crit, gets the kill. He's got a drum charge if he needs it. Mystic Flare just continues to dodge, bob, and weave his way to freedom. RTK ends up turning that into a fantastic little engagement.
Whoa! I mean, he also sat there hitting creep. He juked them, then he just right-clicked 2 creeps without using his Midas.
I thought he was just dead though. Like he showed.
Yeah, he thought
comes
he was
out,
dead, I
He
guess.
like pokes the hero. He's like, "Oh shit, I don't want to fight this. My team isn't ready." Then he tries to run away. Ends up. I feel like when they've been game 1, like he just was out of position sometimes, but it just ends up working out.
I don't know what. But after he juked, I'm watching him auto attack creeps, and then Skywrath comes in with 1 arcane bolt, and he just dies. And he could have just kept running. I'm just like, I'm so confused by RTK's play.
I think he needs to dye his hair back the other way. Yeah. This new look is not working for him. Space created.
Well, I mean, they get the tier 2 mid tower, so it was space created with the Razor, the hero doing their thing, and it's just constant towers going the way of the Radiant side. They've got a pretty big net worth lead, and
Definitely a lineup that wants to have a lead. Good late game for sure, especially if the Doom gets fat, but still you're up against this Terrorblade Slark, Omni, very strong late. They are finding the pickoffs now. Blink Dagger on the Slark is online. They get the kill though. Speed Gaming turning this around and making it 8-6 game. Still within striking distance. 5k gold lead for the Radiant. 2k experience, but remember, they have a big tower advantage here. 5 towers to 1. So a few bad fights for the... I keep on wanting to say the old boys. There's the old boys, the old men, now we've got the big gods, so it's just all these 2-word names that are very generic. Throw me for a loop. But yeah, they're not... This is definitely not unthrowable.
yeah,
I guess.
I feel like the early 2 to 3k gold deficit is very common when you draft an Omni Knight. This hero just doesn't fight that well early. It's all about that kind of even 20 to 30 minute stage where you have a level 10 to level 11 Omni Knight. So I feel like being behind is kind of normal there. And then on top of that, they went through the 2 cores and Terrorblade Slark. So that really just sealed their early game fate. So based on the draft, I'd be very surprised if Big God weren't this far ahead right now.
Yeah, even though they were running the Doom, kind of a weak offlaner, still, he can go to the jungle, get his farm, and speaking of, they didn't really do anything with the Skywrath Omni. They just kind of sat top, reacted to the movements of the big gods, and you pick a Skywrath, you just really love to see him get active, put pressure on the lanes, find kills early, but just didn't really have many options with the Omni Knight backing him up.
I think he made the kind of the right move, helping out mid, but then he tried to go back top, and he's like, wait.
Oh, hello, Slark. He's repelled, but that ain't gonna save you against Doom.
Yeah.
So he quickly retreats out.
He gets a bit scared, and they may look to smoke towards that top lane now.
Xiao 8 with the YOLO plays. He just wants to run right up this ramp. Nope, he's gonna wait for his supports. I'll let Ice lead the way here. You take the bullet for me. And then the Dire Observer Ward planted down. They've got the eyeballs on Ice. He's gonna scurry away. And it looks like they won't engage further. It's been a very quiet game for Chao Yui. You know, when we see Cloud9 running this hero, they're sneaking Roche super early, taking a lot more towers, even if they are giving up the kills, but haven't been those openings for
He
speed.
needs that value DD rune, I think, but no Vengeful Spirit or anything to help complement the Roche lineup. Maybe a Tide with a mech can help tank and then heal you up partway through.
Currently it's a regen rune bottom. Ooh. Not really ideal. Big smoke though. Fights a Bruin. In comes Piao. They'll jump onto RTK. Mystic Flare's there. Insta-kill. They repel the Slark, so he can continue chasing, and Xiao 8 has the Omni Slash. They're going to deploy an Ice Pad. That catches out too. Along with the macro power. Here he thinks about walking in. He's the mech holder. They can't bring down Piao though, even with the Omni Slash following that one up. He retreats, courtesy of the Shadow Dance.
Huge damage.
But Razor is big. Plus 168. This is going to force a full-blown retreat. Another Ice Pad. This one not connected on anything. Maybe the turnaround comes now. They don't have a Blink Dagger though, so they need the sleep to hit. It will. Catching out Lana, putting them all in an awkward position. If they turn to fight, Tide will Ravage and just wreck them. And they have to continue backing on out. So 2 down. Looking for a third. Another pounce, but this one can be Blade Fury'd off. Not so. Let's see. Do they go towards Roche? Seems... No, Slark going for the bottom room.
Yeah, Terrorblade, no Metamorph. I don't think I can do it without Metamorph, but they did that fight without Ravage. I think that, I mean, the Tide Mech was probably was the big item there as far as they're concerned. And just having Omni Knight fighting around this stage of the game is really beneficial for speed gaming. And definitely going to start having to see like possible Diffusal Blade coming out somewhere on the Radiant side. Unless they're going to really bank on Doom, getting a Doom on like the Omni Knight, but he hasn't gone Blink. I mean, I don't think you want to go Blink.
Shao White's going to go for a little wave clear here. He gets the Battle Fury, Farm Accelerator, and I guess in theory can help deal with the Terrorblade illusions, though eventually they'll get to that point where anything short of a purely 6-slotted like hard carry Juggernaut is not going to clear them out. Even with an Omni Slash.
He wants to keep up his farm, I guess. Well, more in this case, stay ahead on farm. Without something like this, his farming efficiency just won't match the Terrorblade with his illusions.
Yeah, generally, even with this, you still struggle. But considering the early start they had, he's 5-0-1, Terrorblade 1-1-2. He has managed to maintain a 3k gold lead. Still only the 1 tower claimed by the Dire. At 20 minutes to see a Terrorblade lineup have your 1 tower is kind of insane. And what do you know? It's RTK off on his own. Poor guy, dead again. I feel like we've seen that a lot today.
The retirement has not suited RTK well.
I mean, historically, even at his absolute best, he is known for sometimes overextending and picked off, but for slightly more awkward deaths. Piao jumping in onto Lanham. He does get Ice Path. He continues to chase. He doesn't have a lead for just a few seconds. The next Dark Pack gets the kill, though. At the same time, the Razor turns with a BKB Omni Slash thrown out as well. They get the Tide. No mech. He didn't have mana for Ravage. Wouldn't have helped him at that point anyway. As they chase forward on Piao. Omni ult forced out. Is there a buyback available for our Tide Hunter? There is, but he's not using it just yet. He's hanging onto it for now. And while he's busy hanging onto it, his team's exploding. 3 heroes dead. They only lose the Jakiro.
It's hard to buy back because you don't have a blink. If you have a blink, absolutely, but you buy back, they just run and they've got drums, phase, Yash on your jug, so...
Yeah, and he is close to that blink, so he buys back, and if he doesn't get kills...
And he TPs at most, like, he doesn't even have a mech, so I think he buys back, and Big God just get out of there without losing anyone, so I don't think it's...
Still turns out okay. It's a 3-for-1, but they get the tier 1 mid. And this means the Roshan a little bit more accessible for the Dire team.
It's an important tower to be getting, so... See where speed gaming can go. They've got 2.5k on Xiao Yu on his Terrorblade. He just needs some, I'd say, semi-fighting items. Like, I don't think you want to be going for Radiance or anything that, like, Mantis Guardi seems like the build this game. Makes it harder for the Doom to doom you if you can just have that insta-manta if he kind of blinks onto you, which probably comes later. Oh, he's got his blink now, actually.
Blink. Ags is coming. Very essential versus the Slark, just to make sure that he's not regenning from Shadow Dance, even if you lose vision on him.
Yeah.
At the same time, Terrorblade does complete Manta.
And they see his blink right away, so there's not going to be any surprise factor with this, thanks to the Observer Ward in the Radiant jungle.
They're going to scout out speed across the river. They're not looking to engage. As you can see, Radiant do have an Observer Ward in this region, Dire over here, so both teams got eyes on each other, and ain't nobody going to fight for now.
Joey's farm this game is pretty insane.
This is a really fat Juggernaut. He's 4k up on the... 4.5k up on the Terrorblade. At this rate, he will be 6-slotted before Terrorblade. And you get this far ahead as Jug, you can always find kills with Omni Slash.
Yeah. Supports on his Dire side and he like Ghost Scepter. I guess you got the GA and Omniat with an Ag Scepter can use that from anywhere, so...
He still may want to go for Diffusal, which you can use while Omni Slashing, so...
Oh, this is a brave Roshan. They're banking on Tide not having a Blink Dagger, and guess what? It just arrived. Here we go.
Engagement brewing. Roshan down to about half health. Now dropping even lower still. The Dire side have that Observer Ward. They're sending Terrorblade top, though. Out bringing him in for the Roche fight. Do they try for the big plays here? Blinking from the start? No, I'm not going to happen. Free Aegis claimed by your Jug. Okay. Still, as far as carries go, he's got one Omni Slash, no matter how many lives he has. And not particularly scary without it.
We'll be at level 16 Jug, though, in a minute or so. But yeah, so for speed gaming, it's like stay alive. Terrorblade has got his Manta style now. Slark just drums, so he's not really too farm, but he can get there. So if they can just survive and not lose too much during this Aegis time, they'll be in a pretty good position.
Manta out of that concussive shot. Nicely played. Tidehunter blinks right next to the Skywrath. Could have been an opening for Omni, but also mech to reduce the incoming damage.
He doesn't want to just Omni for Skywrath. When you got the Aegis, you want to make sure you... If he Omnis the Skywrath, then push is kind of over. You don't really want to push without the Omni Slash.
If it was a level 3 ult, I think he actually could get a double kill there. Blink was already used. Oh, speaking of kills. Piao in all kinds of trouble here bottom lane. Okay. Doom just tearing into him.
Gonna juke. He gets the
The
ulti regen.
Yep, there's your level death. Nice super play. Okay. That's a big kill.
Yeah, that's really nice. And that's important too for this Doom to just accelerate his farm. Keep this Slack down. Slack is already struggling a lot this game.
Man, look at it now. Hey, this is some ballsy play. Nice spell steal from the Rubik.
Yeah,
level 4 purification.
I guess any of Omni's spells you're happy with. Like a level 4 repel's also pretty damn nice.
Yeah, especially this game. It's like Skywrath, Tidehunter, free BKB, so Jug can just chill. Auto attack buildings with impunity.
Casa, yeah, this siege is happening with the Ag Steps now.
Remember, they're doing this without Doom. Ravage online, but it doesn't matter. Xiao Wei critting through with the Omni Slash. Gets the first kill to start it off. Will instantly bring down the Skywrath and continues to push through.
Coming soon.
This is looking good for the big gods, I gotta say.
Very good.
Big Ravage onto Xiao Wei, and, well, that's an Aegis.
Not worth it.
BKB was used by Mikasa, so he dodges through it, and then they turn. They re-engage. One more auto attack would finish off every. They can't quite get it off, and so with the Omni Knight ult here, Speed Gaming gonna look to chase forward. Mikasa kept alive for a long time. Ice is gonna walk in, goes for the anchor smash, tanking in this fight. The Tide actually came back in with almost no HP. Long range, Stretch Armstrong crit comes through. They're gonna get more. They level Death down another, and they're just farming their way through this base.
And suddenly there's like a giant creep wave top lane that just meets them as they get mid-rack. Big creep wave up top.
5 dead. This might be GG. Yeah. Complete train wreck of
down, probably.
A minute and a half here for Speed Gaming as they self-destruct the big gods. I want to say the big dogs, but they are looking like the big dogs now. They kind of played with their food in game number 1 and 2. Didn't play that focused or serious. This game's still kind of some silly moments, but the experience, the veteran wild, the composure, it's enough. Maybe intimidation from Speed Gaming just getting the best of them, and that's a 2-1 victory.
This is not it's 2-1 victory, but not a team I see getting in the top 3 of iLeague unless they really sharpen up their plays. But the Game 3 draft for Speed Gaming left something to be desired. I think getting the Terrorblade and the Slack, I think it was the Terrorblade last pick, was just did not fit in. They needed something more well-rounded for the mid lane. But
well, with that, guys, that is going to wrap up today's broadcast as we are done, but we have more Dota come your way tomorrow. We've got LGD versus Lions, VG Gaming versus HGT, and those teams the winners of those games move on to play IG as well as Big God, respectively. I believe we also have 2 more games. Do you know, are those the winners bracket matches or the
winner bracket?
Okay.
Ones.
So by the time tomorrow is over, we'll have gone through 4 best of 3s, and we will know 2 of the teams that are guaranteed top 3. And then we run through the lower bracket. So, guys, thank you for joining us for iLeague. This has been a New Year's Day broadcast coming in from early in the AM here in
The sun's up, man.
I was going to say sunny Los Angeles,
it is.
but it's normally been really dark and gloomy the past few days, but I can see the sunlight peeking through the curtain of our studio. So we're probably going to get some fresh air, guys. Thank you for watching. Happy New Year's to you all. Be sure to follow GoDz at BTS GoDz. Myself, you can as well at LD Dota. Have a very productive Happy New Year's Day, and we will see you in, I don't know, 12, 16 hours. I guess it's like 13, 14 hours for more iLeague Dota 2 action.
Yeah, 13 hours.
All right, guys. Have a good one. Happy New Year's. LD and GoDz signing off.